Very well. We'll now continue with DECA Group. DECA is a Mexican company which provides satellite services, engineering, administration for transportation companies. They require a solution that would give them a hybrid environment to work with their clients. That's why they approached Rackspace, and we're going to see a video to learn more about this specific story.
We have 45 employees, and basically we come up with solutions with a broad network that we have throughout all of Mexico. We now reach 600 customers. Our localization system for transportation vehicles, the idea is to put a device in the vehicles receiving the GPS signal. They can estimate your location, and then it sends it through a carrier to servers. There, the information is processed. In 2012, Grupo DECA grew significantly in its number of customers, and we reached a point in which our systems had reached a limit. They had become obsolete as far as the servers were concerned. So facing that, we looked at options, and we found Rackspace. And from the very first contact, the attention they gave us was immediate. In one afternoon, I was on the internet, and I saw the Fanatics support page, and I thought, they're mad, because there were even photos of employees that would be wearing security vests. So anyway, I connected to the chat, I contacted them, we created a really good team, and we achieved a solution that grows in an immediate fashion. Depending on your requirements from one day to the other, you have much more power, and we have an availability where 99.9% is there. And thanks to Rackspace, they help us to manage all this. We have experts in each area. So for us, it is much easier now to focus on the business. We don't have to waste time on technical aspects and making sure they work. Well, I am now very, very pleased to have here on stage the General Director of Operations and the IT Director of DECA, Adrián Lizárraga, and Gerardo Rodriguez. Thank you for being here. The lack of availability in emergency systems in Mexico will allow 650 people to die in 1 year from heart attacks. The lack of availability in our information systems or computer systems will enable Mexico to lose $1.54 billion. These unreliable systems affect us one way or another, whether we want it or not. So merely in the time that our presentation will take, Mexico City will lose 38 million pesos for delays in their public transportation. We cannot go on like that. We have gotten used to these mega losses. Please follow me for 5 seconds. Close your eyes. Think of it. What is the system that most affects you? Good morning. I am Adrián Lizárraga. I am the head of Grupo DECA. I would like to tell you the story of how in less than 20 minutes we had a terror situation. If it rained, everything would collapse, or a high availability site, because for us, all the products we develop, they have high availability. And of course, for all our customers, we develop services and products, and we have to upload them on a platform, and they have to be available. All companies have a philosophy. We are always looking for long-term solutions. And for that, we have to understand that we have needs, but there's also another aspect. We only do business with companies which, like us, are thinking of win-win. Rackspace has a policy for this safety vest, and this has allowed us to go far because they realize they give a service in the short and long term. Now, we understand this in a very similar fashion because our reason for being as a company is to improve the quality of the client. And we want to be recognized for two qualities only. The first one is to provide excellent service to our clients. And the second is to be the best option in the services we provide. We don't always think like this, but how, with this new entrepreneurial philosophy, can we provide the service we want to provide when our systems were collapsing, were breaking down all the time? So we had to change everything, and to change everything, it meant that our website or our services, and this is just an example, we have many services, the GPS, which is very fast, the signal is sent to the vehicle, it makes its estimate, and then through safe networks, it sends a position to our servers. And we get about 12,000 positions per minute, which means at the end of the day, we have more than 10 million transactions in our database. So to feed the small monster, it is very difficult. So how were we to do it? Well, we wanted to know who were our core customers. The first are the ones that make business decisions and management decisions, operational decisions, taking our system into account. And then the second thing is all those emergency vehicles, police cars, top executive cars, strategic government officials, that used our service 24/7. So we ran a survey among them, we consulted them, we matched their needs with ours, and we got these 5 items. The first thing that everybody wants is continuous business, to reduce the breakdowns as much as possible, to increase confidence from our client, to be able to make urgent decisions, and that the service is always working fast and efficiently. We didn't know it at the time, but we realized this meant high availability. If you open up a textbook, among other things, you always see these 5 items. So we had to do something, and we had to do it fast. So we did a mystery shopping in our market, and we realized that many companies, and not only in Mexico, we did this in other countries, people say they have high availability. Companies say that, but they cannot prove it. And when we go to their customer, they say that the service sometimes breaks down for whole days. So this whole thing was very ambiguous. What did it mean? There was a company in Chile that said, I have high availability, I can prove it. And yes, they had 99% availability, which means that 1.6 hours a week, their system went down. Maybe not all at once, but here and there. 1.6 hours a week. Afterwards, we realized it wasn't only our problem, it was a global problem. And the 500 largest companies in the world have exactly the same problem that we have. Because of those kind of losses, they're going to lose $46 million a year. Sometimes they do experience these losses. So who has high availability? Well, in Mexico, we found these 3 large companies, the Mexican stock market, they cannot lose a millisecond of availability. They would lose money. The next one is I+D, which is a company in Mexico. They have to have availability. And then the other one, Papel San Francisco, the largest producer of paper in Latin America. The second one, I+D, refers to e-tolls. So these kind of companies have high availability. Then the government made a request in 2014. They said, you need to have electronic invoicing. And I imagine Godínez buying a computer, putting it under the desk, putting in a software, and 1 year after another, there's going to be viruses affecting, then the computer goes down, and yet he goes on operating. I talked to somebody from the Treasury, the government Treasury, and they said, of 5,000 reviews we make a year, half of them are companies that go bankrupt. And why do they go bankrupt? Because they don't have the means to demonstrate their accounting. So now it's not whether we want to or not have reliable systems and available systems. We have to have them. The small and medium-sized enterprises generate 81% of employment in Mexico and contribute 52% of the GDP. How are those companies going to be in order to have the same advantages of the previous ones we looked at? We're contributing with a grain of sand. Rackspace does it. We get support from Rackspace, our customers get support from us, and it becomes a virtuous cycle. All the companies that work with us have high availability. We have a banner that we wave to see whether we're doing things right. It gives us purpose. When we reached the moment when we had to renew ourselves, somebody said, well, let's go to the cloud. A very imaginative engineering. And, well, why? Well, because cloud gives you web pages, not the little monsters we had before. So he was very curious about this. He got an appointment with the best suppliers worldwide. Rackspace really surprised us with their personal service that they provided. And I'm now going to give the floor to Gerardo Rodriguez, who actually led this whole process. If anybody knows about this, it is Gerardo. Please, Gerardo. Hello, I'm Gerardo. I'm the fanatical customer that was mentioned a while ago. And as you all know, every system consists of various parts, and every part plays an important role. So the challenge we had to meet was to be flexible and at the same time a really 5-star customer service. And this is why we decided to reinvent ourselves, because we had to grow and we were not providing adequate service to our clients. And that's when we approached Rackspace. And at the end of the day, our technology strategy led us to use the hybrid cloud as a core part of what we were doing. All this was, of course, with fanatical support. This is our core aspect. It's our infrastructure. Here you can see the Rackspace network, our firewall. It makes up all our environment. It protects it. We have cloud servers. And we have a part connected to the Rack Connect technology, which is made up of virtual servers different brands from Linux servers. We have dedicated databases that are monsters. They're huge servers which process all the information from our clients. And because our information flow is constant, we don't really experience peaks. It's a continuous flow that is going on, and all information has to be on real time. So this is what we decided to do in order to provide our customers with a solution. This is a simplified idea, of course, of our system where you can see the flow with our customers to our load balancing systems, Linux BPM, where we get all the information from our GPS people, and all the different applications. Fanatical support, I remember clearly the day when we first spoke to them. The next day, we already had a conference set up, and Rackspace really led us by the hand. We just gave them the information on our business, but they built all those parts of our system so we could have an adequate system to provide a 5-star service. And for us, Rackspace Fanatical Support would be knowledge, experience, customer service, friends, and above all, Fanatical Support is really one more division of our company. The only thing that separates us is the distance. But it's actually become a core part of our business. And now I'm going to show you, or rather give the floor to Adrián again so he can conclude with this session. Okay, let me be presumptuous. I have to do this with my head held high. The Chilean company that had a 99 availability, we now have 99.9. It breaks down 1 minute per week. In the video, I said 99.999, but yeah, it was very difficult to maintain that. But we're very proud to give you this fact, this number. And there have been tailored developments that also have that kind of availability, and there are new businesses to which we can provide that too. From the economic side, we have these new technologies, we have experts, we're not obsolete, there's no obsolescence in our services. Our current accounts is programmed, we have savings, substantial savings, and there was a symbiosis of growth between server and customer. And probably the most important thing of all is that we democratized the high availability services from the smallest to the highest. We have taken care of an individual to worldwide companies. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you to both of you for sharing your story and telling us how Rackspace Fanatical Support helped you build this